was talking about kickbacks to play, meaning that if I'm going to be playing in a venue and I book an event at a venue, or if I get a lead from someone, that they're expecting a kickback, a financial compensation for that. Some venues charge, I've heard, up the 5% or 10%. Kickback is what they're expecting if they're sending leads to you. Some have a flat fee. Some it's you have to be in our book to play in our venue. So there's a variety of different things. What are your guys' thoughts on the pay to play with a kickback type of a situation?
I saw this a little differently because I also included getting jobs, bar gigs from friends, or getting parties from friends. My answer to that was another question: am I paying a friend or a stranger for a gig?
Okay, so let's take that from two. Let's say in your situation, you're going to be paying a friend that is connected to you, not the venue manager. And then we'll do another one where it would be the venue manager's like, hey, if you want to play here, I need $20, under the table.
Yeah. I have had those before. I've had many. There's still a company that does events where they bring in big name acts into the city that keep wanting me to be a part of the opening act, but I have to sell so many tickets and all these things, and I won't do those because I just don't want to do that. If it's a friend, a lot of times we'll do it if they're booking you a different place every single week. There's a chance you might give them a little something. And I know some DJs that do ask for money no matter what, but I'm just not that person.
Sure.
So I'm not going to pay you for getting me a gig, nor will I expect you to pay me for me getting you a gig. If you go and do a good job, you do a good job. If you do crap, that's on me. So I'm only going to put someone there. I'm not going to put them there to get money back. I'm going to put them there to do a good job. So it's way different than what you guys are when it comes with venues, but I'm just real hesitant on that because that can snowball to you owe me sort of thing, and I'm just not that person to be that. So,
what about managers? Let's the manager kickback thing. Have you handled that when you've had?
I've never had that.
Oh, you haven't had that? Okay.
Because like I said, I'm a person that just people know that I don't fuss.
So it wouldn't have.
I've been at this so long that I think just people know. If I'm because I know places that will, but they'll ask a younger DJ who's desperate to get in there.
That's exactly.
I'm going to look at him and go, I don't need to be there.
In our situation,
like Jay-Z said about the Super Bowl, you need me, I don't need you.
Yeah,
but that's egotistical. I just like I said, it's just to me, it's a dangerous road to go down because it can snowball really quickly and get ugly. So that's my only reason behind that.
Dan, wedding perspective, or from our mobile's perspective, what are you coming up with?
So we talked about this. I don't remember how long ago. It was a while back. And I used to have the philosophy of like, I felt it was so weird and I would never consider it because to me, it just feels like it's crossing a big line. I do have a problem with it when it's, it's that 5 or 10% or whatever it is. And I also have sometimes, kind of a feeling of distaste with it because it's like, okay, if I don't play, if I don't pay for it, would you still let me play there? So in other words, you didn't send me the lead. The couple went and they found me on their own and they hired me to come there. Do I still have to pay you to be able to play there? And if the answer is yes, then I have a major issue with that. However, paying or kicking back money for a lead is really no different than paying for advertising. If anything, it's more beneficial because when I drop money for, an ad, whether it be in a wedding magazine or whether it's a wedding show or anything like that, there's no guarantee I'm getting anything.
Right.
There's not even they may not even reach out to me or anything from it. But if I pay you for a lead or I give you a portion of the money that I get from the wedding that I got because of you, well, you just got me a job in essence. And so, while I don't know where I would stand and where the line is that I would draw and say, listen, I'm not playing that game. I do think that it has benefits because it's really just a different looking marketing.
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah.
And
I think, John, you were the one who brought that up years ago and really changed my view on that because of that.
Yeah, I had a company here in the city that was they'll do, and it's funny, you're talking about all those low percents. A booking agent will take anywhere from 12 to 20%. And there was one here that was doing 15. And I just said, I just don't want you to book me anymore, please. I just didn't want to deal with it. Oh,
Sure.
but we're getting you all these gigs. I'm like, they're not stuff that I really all that much want. I'm going to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't, it's just, you have to, like Dan said, if it means something to you, it's hard to put a price on something that means something to you. So getting those, if it's worth that to you, go for it. You know, like my dad always used to say, I'm like, oh, I don't know. Is it worth that much? He goes, well, it depends on if it's worth that much to you. So.
John, is your view still kind of that same spot?
Very much so. And I like how you broke that down. If I've got to pay to play somewhere and they really don't have any skin in the game besides having a venue or the facility, yeah, I've got a little problem with that. But when they're referring or they're doing something and they have helped the process, no problem whatsoever, because that's the best marketing money that I'm going to be investing for the year. But that the times where they pay to play, where it's like, oh, you're going to be playing in our venue next month. Did you know that we have a fee for DJs coming in? That one doesn't pass the smell test at all.
Yeah, and I will say, when you talked about the friend thing, I'm not one to pay the DJ friends of mine who refer me, right? That's not something I really think. But I will say that the ones who refer me are listed first on the list that I send out when I'm booked. And the ones who I rarely get anything from or really can't trace anything where they've ever sent anything my way, but I know they do good work, are at the bottom of the list.
How about if you run into them out somewhere and you go, hey, let me buy you a drink for help me get that gig? Is that cool?
Oh, totally.
Yeah. That's the stuff I tend to do. I'll literally go to a DJ's place where he's DJing to thank him for a gig. And I'm like, hey, let me grab something for you. You know, that sort of thing. Yeah.
Well, and that to me, I look at that more as, a gratuity, not tip type of gratuity, but a thank you, right? Like a gift, without, and I realize the money can be that way too, but it's not expected, right? Mm-hmm. Like you meet up and you're like, listen, I got your next one, kind of the same thing where, I've done that, I've run into friends that, for anything, they've not done anything for me, but they're friends because they've done, we're friends. So yeah, picking something up, whether it's a drink or whether it's just, hey, I got the next round of golf. Let's go.
Yeah. We've done driving ranges that way too. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Let's go hit the driving range.
Yeah, have some fun. All right, let's jump to our next question.